Hey, thanks for joining me back here at Cameras and Coffee. This video is all about color profiles with available light only. Specifically, this video, which was shot around midnight. This is just a cityscape shot. I wanted to kind of go through these profiles so you could see what they really look like with no light. A couple of these profiles really surprised me, actually. So here's what I did. I basically used the waveform monitor and set it up so my exposures would be pretty decent in the natural profile. And that was sort of my middle point. So any color profiles that were not as sensitive as the natural profile would obviously be a little darker, except for a couple of them that were brighter. So obviously this is not a scientific test, and just a little bit about my settings. Everything was set at -5, -5 on the sharpness, -5 on the contrast, -5 on the noise reduction, 0 for saturation, and 0 for hue. I didn't mess with the colors because I didn't want to fiddle with those. But everything else I shut off or minimized so you could just see what the color profile is doing without messing with the color. I just turned off all the exposures and contrast so you could really see what it's doing. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Leave some comments. This was a fun test for me because I learned a couple of things about the color profiles that I was using, and it sort of reconfirmed what I already sort of knew. And I know you've seen a million videos about, oh yeah, you got to shoot everything in this or that or whatever for, the most natural feeling or whatever. But anyway, this is what it looked like at midnight. No lights out, no moon. And a couple things about this scene specifically. Looking down on the foreground on the right side along that concrete building there, close to us where all those big square windows are, that little area right there is black. There's no exposure there. And so I really cranked up the exposure on the camera watching my waveform to make sure I had decent exposure. So it's definitely deep in the shadows. And down there by the two palm trees in that area, and they're completely black. I mean, you can't see anything. Black, black, black. Zero detail. So anyway, between those two buildings over there on the right in the distance, you'll be able to see IKEA. The letters back there with the blue, and I was watching those on a couple of the profiles because one of my favorite profiles, Leica 709, really didn't handle those blown out letters very well. As a matter of fact, it blew them out even more. What I did in this video is I put the clips in order of darkest to lightest, and I think you'll agree that once you see them play in order, you'll see what I'm talking about. And that was based on the foreground by the train tracks as well as the sky on the extreme corners. For this video, I was using my GH5s with my Leica 15mm. I shot it at 2.8 at 400 ASA. Like a lot of my other videos I do at night, I really enjoy shooting things at 2 frames per second, because sometimes I think video in real time is a little bit boring. So the 2 FPS really gives it a little bit more life, and you can see a little bit more movement. And Also, I don't know if you've seen any of the notes from my previous videos, but to really help your time-lapse videos, I always shoot things at 360-degree shutter. Not only will that give you an extra stop of light gathering, it also smooths out the motion and gives it a nice blur on the traffic lights and the cars whizzing by and the airplanes skimming by, instead of just the frozen dot. The frozen dot looks cool for some things, but I think it just the 360-degree shutter really tends to smooth things out quite a bit, which is a look that I like personally. So you may or may not like it, and you may or may not even care. Anyway, so I hope you enjoy this video. It was a lot of fun to make. I've shot at this location before on one of my other videos, and I was really curious to see how the camera was going to hold up in this moonless night. It was very dark out. I think this was a good test to see how the GH5s holds up at midnight. No lights, just ambient city lights of Burbank, California. Thanks for watching. Tell your friends, hit that subscribe button.